Hi, and welcome to the goal planning section of the Notion for Artists template. Here is the go-to space to help you find direction in your year, your quarters, and your months. So the goals planning section is to help you figure out kind of where do you want to arrive at? What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to make a certain amount of pieces? Do you want to grow your practice? What are the kind of aspirations you want? We break those down into smaller milestones. So we take a goal from a year into what that would be in each quarter, understanding how we can make that more attainable in the month. And then from the months, we start converting them into tasks. So tasks are the action steps we're wanting to make to get there, and goals are where are we trying to achieve. So we start off here in the year goal planning section. Here we recommend, by the end of each year and kind of going into the next, you look back on what you've been doing and start making plans for what you want to do next year. It can be maintaining some of what you've been doing the previous year or adding new things or growing. So what you can do is when you want to add a yearly goal, you can click New Page, and this adds new card. This is a KanBan section, which is just a fancy way to say that there is a property and cards, like if you were to put up a word and Post-its on a wall. So we have 2025, and it's like we have taped cards to our studio wall, but they're just digital cards here in our goal planning section. And in a card, we have made some templates for you to kind of make the process easier. So all you have to do is click the year goal and answer some of these questions. So here you have kind of what's the goal? How do you measure it? What does it look like to complete that goal? Why does this impact you positively or negative? And then why does it matter? We added these questions to help I find some clarity, because I know for artists, having that structure and having that ready and available for us can save us a lot of time and stress and help us really stay organized and on track to where we want to achieve. So this lets you understand, if I'm making a body of work, I want to make a body of work this year. How is it measured? Maybe by making 12 pieces or, a piece a month. What does done look like? Having 12 pieces done, titled with photographs, with, names, prices, and it's all in inventory. What's at stake if I accomplish this? If I don't accomplish this, then I'm not ready to apply to galleries or, launch a museum show or make the connections I want. But if I do accomplish this, then it'll set me up to have a strong following year with a cohesive body of work to leverage for new art opportunities and kind of help me make my longer term goal of getting into museums. And so answer these questions. It helps you also understand, the priorities of each milestone. By milestone, I mean these goals. And, if it's attainable, if we need to affect them. So here in these cards, we have properties, which are elements that are used to both sort and track our goals. So if you ever want to see these properties, we have decided to use the layout where it's, hidden, and you have to click View Details. So here we have the goal status. Is it planned? Is it not started? Is it in progress, or is it reached? So you can click here and move that property. And then when it's done, you can mark when you've reached your goal, check it off, and also sort by year. So for our year goals, usually they'll stay in 1 year, and then when we've reached them, we can click the button here. If, per se, we're trying to do 12 pieces, and 12 pieces ended up being a little ambitious, and we only make 10 pieces, then we can make a note, either here or in the comments that we, have only completed 10 out of 12 pieces. So then maybe we want to make 2 more pieces for the next year. And so we add that to our next year's goal. So if it was body of work made, and that was for 2025, and then at the end of 2025, we've only made 10. We could move it over and we can change it to finish body of work and say, we had completed 10 pieces in 2025. And so that way you can maintain previous goals and still have the same what is it measured, what does it mean, and use that and keep on track of previous goals that have now kind of adapted and evolved in your planning. You can also manually change this by clicking on the menu here to move it back. So that's what we mean by KanBan, is that when these cards move based off of how we change this property. So I'm going to go back to this main page and move down to this next section, quarters. So the quarter section is pretty straightforward. It's if we have a goal for a year, how do we start breaking them down into the 4 quarters? So the quarter would be the 3-month increments. So again, to add one, click New Page and select any of the 4 quarters right here. So if you want the 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, or 4th quarter. Here, we've already propped up quarters for 2025. All you have to do is open it up and start editing. Here we have statuses, so we're assuming that this right now is planned, and we have it marked for 2025. If you have any leftover ones, you can move it to the next year, or we can also use this to filter each year, so we can save quarters from previous years. So going back in, the quarter card has 2 types of goals here. We have the goals for the quarter, so that's during these 3 months, what do I want to accomplish? If my goal was to make a body of work of 12 pieces, I click quarterly goal and say make 3, body work 3 pieces. So you can use the idea of making progress on the body of work. And so it would be right now still similar, responses. My goal is 3 pieces. It's measured by making this, this, and this. What does done look like? And what's at stake if I accomplish it? What's it if I don't? Sometimes in quarters, you might have events coming up. You might have something that's not branching for the entire year. If in May you have a show coming up, or like an event or a workshop, you might gear a more shorter term goal of prepping, having my workshop ready for my class in May, or having work finished for the show in May by end of March. And so you could do that here and make individual goals from your quarters that may not branch across the entire year, but still help you stay on track of what you want to accomplish. Then, once you have finished this goal, use it as inspiration to continue to break it down into the months. So for example, if we're making a body of work and we want 3 pieces made in a quarter, then we want to do a piece each quarter. So here, monthly goal, and it follows the same structure. What's the goal? How's it measured? What does done look like? What's at stake? For things like building a class or workshop, you can break that down. Like if I have 3 months and I'm trying to make the workshop, I could say, plan and, complete outline for workshop. In January, you can be working on finishing the course material and then working on marketing for March. So once you have kind of built out how your yearly goals and quarterly goals manifest in each month, you can use this button, click here to create task, and we will go over to the task section. We will talk about the task section in future videos, but this allows you to take the ideas from the previous section, say a certain monthly goal, and break it down into different steps you need to take and help you schedule it. Again, if you ever want to go split screen, simply open in a new tab, and here you can look at what you want to do. and so what you want to do in your goals and how you want to do it. And then you can start scheduling it so you can have a better understanding of your schedule, and that aligns with your goals and the actions you want to take each month. So while we were still in the quarter section, if we go back to goals and goals section. So what I just did there, so I was in this card and I'd opened it up. And up top, you can normally see how it's nested. So you have the Notion for Artists template, and then the pages. So this is the database that this entry is in. So if I go back, it's this database by itself, and then the page in which this database was on. So we're back to the main page, and we see the 4 quarters, and we've worked through and planned out these quarters. Now below, we're able to see what we've planned out for each month. I'm creating an outline for the workshop. Maybe I'm working on bodies of work. We also have a database view. So this can adapt to kind of how you work best. If you're more visual and you just want to see the name, scroll through these different months, use the board view. If you like the database and being able to directly see the status, edit it here. We set these 2 views up. They are both the same database. So if you do things in one, it'll show up in the other. And so just like we have in January, create outline for workshop, you'll have the outline here. So do not stress or worry about which one to use. Just use which ones fit you best. So I hope this helps you understand and better plan out your goals. We look forward to working together with you more in the Notion for Artists template and our online circle community, Notion for Artists, as part of the 2 Degree Art community. Thank you. Bye-bye.